Hey everybody, this is Tim Dial with Nexa Mortgage, and I was putting this little presentation together. I'm going to try to make it pretty short, but I'm putting this together just to kind of explain the new down payment assistance program that is offered by United Wholesale Mortgage. If you're not familiar with us, Nexa Mortgage is the largest wholesale broker in the country. United Wholesale Mortgage is the largest wholesale lender in the country. And so we have quite a great partnership going with United Wholesale Mortgage as they have outstanding rates, they have tremendous service, and some of the best programs and products available. They are the only ones that I know of that currently offer a zero down or what is essentially a down payment assistance program specifically for conventional loans. And everybody else who does down payment assistance usually is using it in conjunction with like FHA, and that's great for some borrowers. Most of them that I get are actually FHA down payment assistance borrowers. However, if somebody has really excellent credit, then normally it's going to be better off to go with a conventional program if you can, simply because conventional, for one thing, conventional is usually looked at by the seller's agent as being preferred. Seller's agents would like to accept an offer that's conventional more than a government program. And that's because the government programs all require the appraiser to do a what is essentially a checklist inspection on the property. And then sometimes the appraiser will say that certain things have to be fixed before you can close. And then the seller is required to fix those things. And so it does create a little bit of a headache for the seller and the seller's agent if that does come back that way. On a conventional loan, you rarely have that happen. It has to be something pretty bad before the appraiser is going to flag it and say it needs to be fixed. If the appraiser sees that there's a wet spot on the roof, it looks like it's been leaking or something, they may flag it. But but it has to be something that's pretty blatantly obvious that needs to be fixed before they'll they'll make you fix it on a conventional loan most of the time. Conventional loans are also thought to be just easier to get completed. They're a little bit faster, and as a result, the sellers and sellers agents really like them. There's less that can go wrong. Additionally, with conventional, normally the buyers have to have a little bit better credit, and as a result, that also looks better to a seller's agent. Is that he knows that if they're doing conventional, chances are the buyer has better credit than somebody who's going FHA. So those are some of the reasons why they really like conventional. Additionally, the other advantage of going conventional, if you have really good credit, is that normally the mortgage insurance is going to be less. FHA, if you're doing the 3.5% down, FHA currently charges 0.85% of the loan amount, and that's on a per year basis. FHA will also charge a 1.75% fee on the front end, and they'll add that to the mortgage. So you end up with a higher mortgage amount because of that 1.75% fee, and so you pay that 1.75% fee. You also pay the 0.85%. Uh, they take the 0.85% and they calculate that as yearly, and they divide it by 12 to get the monthly amount that gets added to your mortgage every month. If you have really good credit, then normally the mortgage insurance is going to be about half that much. If you're going conventional, and you don't have that upfront fee that you have to pay that they add on to your mortgage. So there are a lot of benefits as far as that goes if you have good credit and can go conventional. UWM just came up with this down payment assistance program. Like I said, as far as I know, they're the only ones offering it, and it was actually just featured recently. I saw it on CNN. They were talking about it on CNN and had a big presentation and talked to somebody, I think, from United Wholesale Mortgage about it. So it's been a big deal. United Wholesale Mortgage is so big, they actually do right around the same amount of business as like Quicken Loans, but most people don't really know who they are because they are a wholesale lender. And so they're sort of, I guess you'd say they're sort of like behind the scenes, and they're not as out in front because they're wholesale. The owner of United Wholesale Mortgage is also the owner of like the Phoenix Suns. His name's Matt Ishbia. So they do a tremendous amount of business, and they're just an outstanding company. And so I'm very excited to be partnering with them on this program and be able to help customers get into homes with zero down on a conventional program. It's just outstanding. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead now. I'm going to share my screen with you and go through a quick slideshow, as I think this is going to be the best way to present it. So it'll take just a minute to get that going. And so you should be able to see the slideshow here. Zero down purchase, move in with no upfront down payment. Also, conventional on this program, conventional does allow the seller to pay up to 3% toward closing costs. So, as an example, UWM would give you the zero down purchase because you're getting the down payment assistance. And then in addition to that, say it's a $300,000 purchase, you get the seller to pay up to $9,000 toward costs, and that would cover most of it. One of the other nice things about UWM's down payment assistance program is that the closing costs on it are about the same as they would be on just their normal conventional loan. They don't charge extra for closing costs on it, which is a super nice thing. Because with most programs, most down payment assistance programs, the FHA ones that I talked about, things like that, most of those programs have higher closing costs associated with them. And so it's very important to get the seller to pay some of the closing costs, because the closing costs on those programs are higher. And so it helps you to get in with less funds. But with this UWM program, closing costs are about the same as they would be if you were just doing a normal conventional loan with 3 or 5% down. So that's how that works. I'm going to go on to the next slide here. And so anyway, like I said, I'm Nexa Mortgage. That's the company that I work for. And this is some of my contact information here. UWM's program is a zero down purchase. So what they do is they use a 3% down program, which can be HomePath. One of the programs is HomePath through Freddie Mac. They can combine it with HomePath, or they can just use the first time buyer program, which is you have to, in order to do the 3% down, you have to be a first time buyer just to use the normal Fannie or Freddie program. But if you combine it with HomePath, that's also a 3% down program, and it requires income limits to be below 80% AMI, which in most areas is somewhere in the $80,000 to $90,000 range. If you make under that per year, then you would probably qualify for that HomePath program. So that's how that works. Some of those programs also do require like a class to be taken, which can be an online class that is offered. And so that's kind of how that works. But it's you receive 3% down payment assistance loan in the form of a second mortgage that goes on your property up to $15,000. So what that means is that because it's up to $15,000 and it's 3%, as long as you're not buying something over like $500,000, then they're going to give you the whole down payment, because 500,000, 3% would be the 15,000. Once you get up to above 500,000, then they're only going to give you the 15,000. The rest you'd have to come up with on your own. So most first-time buyers or people using this program are not going to be buying a $500,000 home anyway. So, but I always like to go through that. Zero down purchase. So the second loan has no monthly payment requirement and no interest. So the second mortgage will just sit there. You don't have to make any payments on it. It doesn't accrue any interest. It just sits there. It doesn't have to be paid back until you either refinance the mortgage or you sell the house and go off and buy something else. When you sell it, you'd have to pay it back at that point, right? As a part of the transaction. So that's another really nice thing about it. A lot of the down payment assistance programs do require you to make a payment on that second mortgage, and it increases your overall payment each month. This does not. You don't have to pay that second mortgage each month. You only have to pay it off when you refinance or sell the house. So that's pretty much it, how that works. You can, now, one thing they always tell you is you can make payments on the second mortgage if you want to, but I don't know why anybody would, because it's not accruing interest. It's basically just sitting there and you're not paying interest on it. So why would you pay money on it? It doesn't make any sense to me. So um, also benefits of zero down, helps people save. There's no need to save for the down payment. You can use some funds for closing costs if needed, et cetera. You could also use some of your extra funds for buying furniture and things like that after you move in. Um, you don't have to answer to a landlord or somebody if you're currently renting. You also don't have to wait. I hear this all the time with people who are wanting to purchase a house, and I get it all the time where they'll send me a message. They'll say, "Well, I don't have enough money for the down payment right now, so I'm saving for the down payment." This takes that off the plate, right? People can buy without that down payment, especially if you can get the seller, if you negotiate in the contract and you get the seller to pay some of the closing costs. I mean, I had somebody last month who got into a house with $2,000, because they used down payment assistance. The seller paid most of their closing costs, and all they had was 2,000 that they had to come up with. I think it was like 2,200. So so that's kind of how that works. It really, really helps people be able to get into a home now. Because if you wait, one thing that we have figured out, if people wait 2 years, normally they're going to miss out on anywhere from $30,000 to $50,000 in equity they could have gained during that 2 years. And so that's the cost of waiting, right? Prices are going up rapidly. So the sooner you get into a house, the sooner you get to take advantage of that equity that you're going to gain from those prices increasing. Um, so anyway, that's kind of how that works. All right. Working with us means that you have greater insight into your finances and home readiness, exclusive access to the zero down purchase loan program, save thousands of dollars over the life of your loan, and fast closing, usually within an average of 20 days. In reality, most of the time when I'm working with United Wholesale Mortgage, most of the time we can get a clear to close in about 2 weeks. They'll send the appraiser out within 1 to 2 days, and then usually we get the appraisal back the following week, and then we close the week after that, and it's super super fast. Initial approval is as little as 15 minutes. Yeah, they have an online system that's so great that if I upload all the documentation into it, including like income and asset docs and stuff like that, then their system will give me an actual underwriting approval within about 15 minutes. So it's pretty cool. And so that's a little bit how that works. But they are the top program to work with for sure. Stop waiting and start living. Moving into your dream home today. No need to wait. And then this is just some of the information that they give as far as like disclaimer type information and things like that. Information subject to change. They're always changing things and changing programs and stuff like that. So they always like to let people know that right now, this is how the program is set up and this is how it works. This could change at some point in the future. It could become, where it's better. It could become where it's not quite as good. It's hard to say, but at this point, it's up to 15,000. Second lien bears 0% interest, et cetera, and that's how it works. So then they give you kind of an example here: principal and interest in MI payment of a 350,000 30-year fixed rate loan at 6.75%. 97% loan to value is 2270.09. Right, so that's what they're saying that your payment would be approximately based on these numbers, just to give you kind of an example. And outside of that, that's pretty much it. Whoops, let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you do have any questions or anything about the program, certainly feel free to send me a message, reach out to me. I'm here to help, make sure you understand everything. But this program is super exciting. And for those customers who do have 700 plus credit scores, I think this is an absolute game changer as far as what they can do. The nice thing about it is this conventional program is going to allow you to have a lower monthly payment than using a different down payment assistance program. It has a lower interest rate, has a lower payment, it has lower private mortgage insurance, and it's just going to be much better for those borrowers who have good credit than some of these other down payment assistance programs that are out there. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I've taken a lot of your time here, so I don't want to take any more. Like I said, if you have any questions, my name is Tim Dial, and my number is 615-995-2615, and this is my office number up here, 615-703-8880. and look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks. Bye.